go?
Yep.
Okay.
Go.
Welcome to another episode of Drive-Bys. Today we are headed out to see some retail deals. We're gonna head north about an hour and a half to a little town called Eton. And along the way, we've got a handful of Dollar Generals that we're gonna drive by, take a look at. We are entering Dollar General country, as we like to call it.
And we're passing our first one right now on the left-hand side.
We'll see what the raking on that one was.
Yeah.
So we've got about 6 or 7 Dollar Generals we're gonna drive by as we head up this road, and really it's just one small town after another as we head out of Atlanta. So first thing we want to talk about when we're looking at deals or driving by is we have a metric we like to use, which is our 200 point, what do we call it, our ratio? 200 point ratio?
200 point spread. So we want to buy property with a 200 point spread between cap rate and interest rate. So for example, if we're getting an interest rate at 6.5 or 5.5, we want to have a 200 point spread with our cap rate. So our cap rate is where we buy it and the interest rate is where we finance it. So if we're financing a property at 6.5%, we want our cap rate to be somewhere around the mid-8s. And if we get that metric, we're getting our minimum prefs paid to all of our investors, plus a little bit more when the rent bumps start happening. And we're getting into that 15% plus or minus total return for the property. And so it meets all of our metrics. And we're getting investors a good return that usually meets the stock market. So that's always a plus.
Yeah, and right now we've seen the 10-year come down a little bit in the past, past month it's kind of been coming down, but we're looking at debt quotes now that are around the mid-6s on the types of assets that we purchase. So we have about a mid-6 debt rate, and on these opportunities we're looking at buying them in right in the low 8 to 8.5 cap rate range.
Right.
So right at that 200 point spread. That applies to all retail. If we can get our 200 point spread, we're excited about that. Maybe 2021, we were seeing some pretty huge spreads at that time because interest rates were so low and cap rates had not adjusted that quickly. So there were some really big spreads at that time. That time is in the past though. So not right now anymore. So we're just looking at 200 is where we want to be. So we're going to see a couple of these as we go up the road here. They did talk about like they're going to close roughly 100 stores is what some of the news came out as.
And my hope is they are, because those 100 stores are probably just the bottom of the barrel, not doing anything. And so it's just a house cleaning. And it's not, if you have 20,000 stores, 100 stores out of 20,000, can you do the math in your head?
Oh, we got another Dollar General.
But it's not statistically significant. I mean, 100 stores out of 20,000.
Yeah, no, that's like some stuff just isn't going to work. They don't really publish why they're closing those stores, whether it's, the store is just, yes, it's a bad performer, or maybe the rent offers are just way too high, they're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, well, if they're making money at a store, I mean, there's no reason to close it down. And so they're closing stores that are not making money, and we know which stores are making money and which are not making money, because we essentially buy that data. And so we're always buying the stores that are always in the top percentile of performance. And
placer data is no longer a secret. It's more, now it's like a common due diligence item to see how does this store stack up compared to all the other stores that are out there.
There is essentially our buying strategy before placer and then after placer. And, fortunately or unfortunately, it's now just part of our business.
Yeah, I think lots of people have access to it if you're willing to. I think it costs about $15,000 a year.
$20,000 a year. That's a nice check for us to write.
Yeah, so if you're spending 20 grand a year, you've got access to it, and a comparable data point. Yeah. That's not always perfect, but I think it's directionally correct. And when we just look in places, they have about 19,400 stores attributed to Dollar General that are in their system. And again, you're just tracking the foot traffic that goes between each one. So. All right, so now we're driving through Dollar General country. Basically is what it is. We got 5 more that we'll see along the way, 6 more here. And if we see any little detours for the signs, we're gonna go find them and see how they stack up and see what they look like. Coming up on our next Dollar General here on our road trip north. We know anything about this one?
We do not. It's one of a lot of Dollar Generals on 411. And so when we actually looked at Eaton, one thing we did is we looked at all the Dollar Generals in the area just to get a good idea of how they perform. And I mean, I think this is Dollar General's. This is Dollar General's. I don't know what to call it. Money
Wheelhouse. Well, pretty standard Dollar General. It looks like the 9,400 square foot layout with the metal sides and a brick facade. Looks pretty clean, right on the road.
This is painted brick, which is fancier than normal. But yeah, it's the same metal frame.
I was looking at the parking lots too. It's concrete, so it's not going anywhere, but it's not in the greatest shape, that's for sure.
Yes. And you can see the drainage and all right, so in 5 minutes we're going to be in Chatsworth, and we're going to be at the Dollar General on the southern tip of Chatsworth.
So we're coming into Chatsworth, Georgia. It's about 5,000 people is the population, and there's a few north side of town, south side of town that there's 2 different Dollar Generals in, so we're going to see what they're like.
Karate attorney. And the Dollar General is going to be up here on the left. This is actually a pretty clean parking lot. Everything's actually almost organized, and there's no trash here. You got your pool noodles right out front.
Same layout, just has a little bit of brick around the base. And this driveway, or this parking lot, is paved instead of concrete, so it looks a little nicer.
Yeah, it's actually not.
Even though it could still use it could still be striped and cleaned a little bit, but it's got curbs and pavement, so it looks nice. We have competition, and there's I'll see what the Family Dollar location looks like. It's right next to, but this one's in a strip mall.
So we're 3 minutes away from Dollar General in Eaton, Georgia.
Now, Eaton, Georgia, this is the one that we're actually looking to buy. Anytime we do buy a deal, we're always going to look at the site. We're going to do our inspections. We're going to look around. And then part of the due diligence as well is just making sure when we're driving there, what else is on the way. That's why we looked at the past 5 or so Dollar Generals. Eaton is a small town, so it's outside of Chatsworth here that we just went through. But this is a unique Dollar General in that it is the marketplace version.
Right, and we're also passing a lot of manufacturing plants, gigantic warehouses around here. So when we look at the map, we saw the roofs. Here we are, we're pulling in.
Okay, so it's right across the street from Family Dollar.
Which is not
one
doing
thing we
very
noticed.
well. Yeah, and it's not doing
And then we're
well
next
either.
to what looks like a tractor supply type store, but the local version called Drifters, and then our DG Market.
Big parking lot. Looks like a grocery store. Looks like a small grocery store to me.
We look at this deal specifically. The other Dollar Generals we purchased have mostly been, the typical Dollar General location. This one being a DG Market, what that means, it's about 20,000 square feet. We'll go in and take a look around. But you can see the construction of it is a little bit different. So it's got full brick and stucco construction versus the metal side. That is a lot of the DG construction.
Right, and this is Dollar General capitalizing on being the small grocer in the area. So it's going beyond the 10,000 square foot, the 9,000 square foot presence to a 20,000 square foot presence where it could sell a lot more. And if the market justifies it, it'll do pretty well. This one is, believe it or not, still has we call it super cheap rent. The rent right now is about $12.70. We actually checked all the other rents of all the other DG markets in the state of Georgia and the Southeast. And this is one of the lowest rents that we have that are in the Dollar General system, which means that this is very cheap for them.
Yeah, it's something we always look at and think about when we're doing any kind of Dollar General, really any kind of retail. Even on the restaurant side, we're always looking at a rent to sales ratio where we want it to be below 8%. The lower we can get it, the better. It just means that it's less of an impact on the operations of that business.
Well, it's also counterintuitive. As a landlord, you think you want to maximize rent, but for these locations, you don't want to maximize rent. You want rent to be super cheap and super easy for them to do, and you don't want to charge them a lot of money because you want them to not recognize rent as an issue.
Yeah, it's got to be there. When we have rents that are cheaper, it just enables them to have a more stable location.
Right, and not want to move.
Yeah. So a lot of the DGs we purchased are in that, like, we want to be low teens, $10 a square foot in rent. DG, and especially the DG market, some of these are over $20 a square foot in rent. And we look at that as really a much higher risk asset when you say, wow, the rent is double what it is at a lot of locations. So here at $12.70 a square foot in rent, we like that point. That's good. We know it's cheaper than a lot of the competition in a lot of their own locations that they have. So we're looking at buying this deal right around a 8.3 cap rate. So we feel like we're at a strong position here. We talked about earlier, we're going to be right around our 200 basis point spread. Now we're under contract on this one, and we're going through our debt quotes and stuff. So there's still some moving parts that I'll have to get ironed out before we say, okay, this is exactly what our spread is on a deal or on this deal. So
should we go in and look around and take some pictures?
Yeah, we'll go in, we're gonna check it out.
Let's go.
We always want to do our inspections, so we're gonna look at the roof, we're gonna look at how the inside is maintained, we're gonna talk to people as much as we can and see how things are going. We always want to see, does it look clean inside, and how's the store operating?
Oh, and we're gonna buy some M&Ms.
Probably do that too.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Let's see where this one's made. China.
This one is made in Hong Kong.
Lodge cast iron.
Pittsburgh, Tennessee.
This pan, 12 bucks, made in China. Even these made in China. Made in the USA. Cool, another made in the USA. How about the pistachios?
Pistachios are Lost Hills, California. Does that count?
Maybe. All right.
Made in the USA.
Made in the USA.
It's funny, but GE is as American as a company gets, and they're manufactured made in China.
Made in the USA. Just finished our site tour there. Site looks really clean. Walked through the whole store. Parking lot looks clean.
Parking lot looks great, actually.
Looked at the roof. Roof looks pretty good and clean up there too. So
and you
no
got to
visible
play
cracks.
You got to play with your drone. We got some great drone pictures to
always
show
fun to
people.
play with the drone a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, when we were talking earlier, we're going through that, saying like 10 to 15% of their stores or sales are imported goods, and we're looking at another report here, Statista.com, that says about 18% of their products are either seasonal or home products. So we looked at all the home products. Mostly all that stuff was
made in China, and then
China,
we saw
Pakistan, Vietnam.
We saw Hong Kong, yeah.
A little bit, a tiny bit of Hong Kong.
Yeah, I saw one thing in Hong Kong. I think that was it. Yeah, but if you go to the food aisle,
yeah, all the food, all the snacks, all like the Kimberly-Clark paper products.
Good old M&Ms, USA. I mean, they had a huge section of fruits and vegetables, the whole wall. So the whole wall from back to
aisle
front
of the refrigeration section,
refrigerators and freezers, and then coming out from there was all aisles of groceries. So this is essentially a real grocery store. Yeah, it's a
so we're excited. This one, if we we feel like we're gonna be getting this in the mid 8s in the cap rate range, so that's pretty positive. Now,
and I don't see, and you know what's also very important about this one is it's a triple net lease. Yeah. So it's not a double net lease. So it's all the maintenance is going to be on Dollar General.
The other ones we've had that are double net is a typical Dollar General lease, and a lot of the time that's a resale lease too, where as the owner of the location, we're still responsible for the parking lot, we're still responsible for the roof. In this one, it's full triple net. I mean, it might not seem like much, like it's just the roof. It's like sort of matters. Yeah, it can be expensive.
Yeah, and parking lots, and for the double nets, there's always a surprise expense you don't expect, and for this one, when it's triple net, there's no surprise expenses except for just paying the mortgage, and that's it, and making sure they pay their taxes too. Yeah. But this is great. I am really excited about this one because I think this is probably the cleanest, nicest Dollar General. Not the cleanest, but essentially the structure of this one is really clean, really nice, and it's a relatively well-kept Dollar General too.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Cool.
Yeah, and inside, very important too, the aisles. A lot of Dollar Generals.
Sometimes you see if they've got staffing. We always can look at if there's staffing issues, because we'll see just boxes lined up during
restocking
aisles.
Right.
And that's when you've got a team at a location where if they don't have enough people, they're the cashier, they're also stocking the shelves, they're trying to get stuff off the trucks, and it makes for a pretty hectic experience. Then it just leads to a lower performing store.
Right.
But
in my experience in the stores, the store manager actually cares. That's my experience. And a lot of times these things are the store manager actually has to care.
they drive the show. They're the one that's making it all happen.
Yeah.
So certainly. Cool. Okay, that's this Dollar General. We are going to take off from Eaton, Georgia. We've got about 2 hours to get back to Atlanta. See if we find anything else to look at along the way. But we're always keeping our eyes open for other stuff that's out there, other retail opportunities, other deals that we can look at. We just saw a deal. There's a deal right across the street here that's got a little bit of vacancy, so we're gonna walk over there, see what we can figure out as well. And yeah, we're gonna start working our way back to Atlanta.
So Dave, we're stuck in traffic.
We're back in Atlanta, going 6 miles an hour.
There was no traffic in Eaton, Georgia.
Yeah, no traffic in Eaton. It was much easier to drive.
Yes.
So we didn't find anything else to really stop and look at that was meaningful. We saw that cool car graveyard place.
We're gonna stop there next time. And,
next time.
we could take your kid out of school and show him all these old
more spring break. He's been hanging out back there. On our way back up, we're gonna catch up with the mayor of Eaton, see what that's like. But overall, I mean, the last Dollar General we looked at, the market, it looks really clean. It looks great.
Yeah, it was.
So we're excited about that one.
Aisles were clean, floor was clean. I mean, it was just a very clean store. Hey, by the way, even the bathroom was clean. So
there you go.
Somebody clearly cares about this one, and so usually that means the regional is hiring the right manager in the store. The right manager cares, and they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
So
we're excited about that location.
Checks all the boxes.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching our drive-by. We're gonna get back out soon and go see what else we can find.